ended up putting a little bit of black paint on there after I got some of the rust off. It was pretty rusty. I didn't want to have to do it after I installed the radiator. I was a little bit worried at first because it was sitting up higher than I thought, but I had it on the bottom hole and it wouldn't shut. So we got clearance. I closed the hood and it just have the top two bolts kind of hand tight right now, but man, it's the shiniest thing on the car so far. So it doesn't match up perfectly. I don't know if there's, you know, something different between 79 80s and a little bit later first gens, but the bottom holes are not matching up just right. Just scratched a little spot. I'm gonna probably just drill it out a little bit. Hopefully it won't take that much. So just finished grinding out a little bit of the bottom hole on each side here, just to give a little bit of room for bottom two bolts. So I got the radiator in there, just kind of, I mean, all the bolts went in. So the adjustments that I made evidently made it fit better. I think there might have been a little bit of tweakage, but anyway, it's an aftermarket radiator, so I think it fit pretty good for me, an aftermarket radiator. Had to make a decision whether or not to pull off the fan or pull back out the radiator after I basically had it where I wanted it. Turns out I forgot the stupid fan shroud behind the seat in the car. And long story short, I had to pull the fan and then I had to pull the stupid radiator almost all the way off. So I had to loosen the radiator, get the bottom stinking radiator hose on. It's a spring inside of it, and so I couldn't just bend it and get it where I wanted it to go. It wouldn't bend. And then even when I removed 3 radiator bolts and pulled the thing all the way at an angle, still was giving me hell. So anyway, I got the bottom 2 on there, and obviously I have to put that piece on after I get a new, I'm just gonna replace the thermostat, I think. You know, the overflow all hooked up to the expansion tank there. Just a few hours at a time here and there, and maybe we'll get it going one of these days. Okay, we got the thermostat and got some things hooked on, and Matthew's tightening up the hose clamp there on the top radiator hose. So something else I realized about this car. Well, first of all, it has to have, you know, a tune-up with the wires. The wires were pretty shot. I got some of the corrosion off, but they were just basically shot, you know. The cap has a bunch of junk in it. I scraped some of it out, but we're just gonna replace it. But I don't even know if they had the right cap and rotor. This is the rotor, and I had to pull really hard to get it off, but there wasn't any corrosion on the inside. So that's the top of the distributor where the rotor goes, and this is the hole for the stinking rotor. Like, what? How does it go on there? There's no flat side. It's basically all rounded, you know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that the rotor was wrong. Gonna get a new cap and rotor, probably a new set of wires if they're not too expensive. Obviously a set of plugs. Throw the battery back in. Already put a gallon of antifreeze in there. And I gotta put the stupid starter back in too still, but anyway. So I found out there's a leak from the coolant. That's because gasket for the thermostat, they couldn't find me the proper one with the flanges and everything, so they gave me this stupid rubber. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this black rubber there. It ended up just kind of pinching out, and stinking thermostat wouldn't stay where it was supposed to. I'm gonna have to take that back off. Plus a little bit of coolant, but and evidently it's still dripping. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, lost a little bit of coolant. Tried to put some back in the reservoir, and now I guess we still got some sort of slow leak. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's coming out of the hose or if I don't have the top thing tight or what, but it's a little frustrating, but I ended up using the same cap and rotor. Had a hard time getting one in town, plus the rotor looked the same, so I just put it on the best I could, and the cap doesn't look horrible, and they're pretty expensive. I was surprised how expensive they were. So, but I got the wires hooked up to the distributor cap anyway, and to the coils, and then I'm gonna wait until I actually tighten the spark plugs to hook up the spark plugs.